Hello, Key Biscayne. It is Monday, August 27th, 2018, and this is your No One's Listening show, episode 120. I am your host, Rafa, and I'm running for council, boys. No, I'm not. To my left, special guest. He's actually on the council. He doesn't have to run this time. It's Brett Moss.
It's like a first time that I haven't had to run in 4 years, so I'm happy to watch other people run.
Yeah.
Finally.
To his left, he's running on a platform of... I can't think of anything this time, but it's Manny.
Well, I was going to say, Brett, it's the first time in 4 years you don't have to run. It's the first time in 4 years you've agreed to come on this show and actually done it. So thank you very much for that. And I actually am here to announce that I am running for council after a long, hard, sweaty reflection. I decided I'm going to run for council, guys. I'm serious, man. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
For real?
Yeah. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Doing it right now. When can I put my name in?
You're already late for this.
What do you mean
time.
I'm already late?
In 2 years, exactly.
Okay, well then in 2 years I'm here to announce that in 2 years I'm running for council.
I like how I was looking at Manny like,
Manny for mayor. It rolls off.
Manny
the
for mayor is
thing.
better.
M
Yeah.
for M.
I think that we should have a party now for your run for 2 years.
Pay attention, Brett.
Start
We have them all the time.
campaigning.
We have them all the time.
And to his left is Anna.
hi.
Oh, who's also running for council on a platform of dorky looking shoes.
I'm wearing very dorky looking shoes right now. I am running away from my problems. I'm joking. I'm facing them. I'm emotional today.
Anna, you're in the wrong office. You walked into the wrong office.
I
Anna.
did. I totally did. I'm just not feeling too great today, guys. Sorry. But hi, I'm here nonetheless. Welcome, Brett. Happy to have you.
Okay, I want to announce a couple things, and the first thing is that I'm going to make a correction for the first time. That we've always had a lot of things wrong that we announce on this show.
I've made corrections. This is not the first one.
No? Okay, well, we are going to correct something that I said last week. I said, it was Monday, that Willie Baroto's party was that night.
Oh.
Because I looked at the Islander and online, and they had published Thursday's article on Monday. And at the start of the article, it said tonight, So I thought, well, it must be tonight. But really, that was the article that was meant to go in the paper that would come out Thursday. And then the party was actually Thursday. Anyway, if you went out to the Museum of the Cuban Diaspora halfway through this show because you thought it was Willie Baroto's party, I'm very sorry. I hope you made it on Thursday.
You know what? No wonder Danny Diaz-Balart was so upset with me the other day. So I'm at the gym. He's like, dude, you made me go on a wild goose chase. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, right. And he walked away. It must have been that.
Possibly. Congrats to Danny.
Congrats to Danny.
They had the baby?
His
They had
was
the baby
born.
today.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Baby Lincoln. Yes.
Big fan of the
Yesterday.
show, Danny. Congrats to you and
Congrats indeed.
Stephanie and Baby Lincoln.
Yeah.
All right.
We're very, very happy. We
Okay.
have a new listener.
Let's start how we always start. It's called Weekend Talk. What'd you guys do this weekend?
Man, on Saturday, I went out to a cleanup collab.
Oh?
Between the Tropics, which is a swimwear company that makes bathing suits out of repurposed, upcycled, et cetera, and a group called My Buena Vida, which is it's like a feel good brand that donates money to good causes. So anyway, they had a cleanup on Hobie Beach, Dog Beach. So I took Chico out there, and
Nice.
It was nice. Met some good people. This group of weirdos, these people like this who, pick up trash and whatever. There's a lot of them.
Good.
There's a lot of them, and people want to be them. So it draws a really good energy, a really good crowd of people. It's fun to be able to meet people all the time and invite them to your stuff. And so it was a collab in the best sense. Check out the Tropics.
Was your arch rival there?
And My Buena Vida.
What's his name again, that guy?
Who's my arch rival?
The guy who...
The guy who picks up tons of trash.
Oh, my God. No, he's not my arch rival.
Who is it?
Rafa just wants to create drama.
Otaza. He's a hero. He's
Well, there's a proclamation for you guys on tomorrow night.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
Yeah, you know, I
was
didn't tell
wondering
you
if
guys
you were
about
going to
that.
mention it. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Trashclamation proclamation.
Trash. Oh my
There
god.
you go.
Oh,
Well,
my God.
they did call me and asked me to come into the principal's office tomorrow, and
We'll see
I
what
asked
it
if I was in trouble. I was like, "What did Chico do?" And they said, "No, we're going to kind of give you a shout out for what you guys do on the beach and beach ambassadors." And then at the end of the call, they asked me, "Hey, do you have Andrew's number?" So I gave him the number. So a little while later, it was great because Andrew sent me a text. He's like, "Hey, I'm getting an award tomorrow or this week. You should come and support me." And all that. I was like, "I'll be there, dude."
Very cool.
And so I'm really happy
Congrats.
for him. He's done some great
congratulations.
stuff. So
That's tomorrow at the council meeting or what?
tomorrow at the council meeting.
Right at the
All right.
beginning. So
Yeah.
if you guys can come at 6.
I did ask about that if it would be in the beginning or not. I'm like, "Hey, I'm a single dad. I got to make dinner." And
Proclamations are at the beginning, man. So you're lucky.
cool. So I'll be there. Thank you.
All right. How about anybody else? I have like a jam-packed week. Do you want to talk about what you did?
We hung out on Friday night. Went to the wet lab. Was with Manny also.
That
It was
nice.
Listened to music.
slammed.
It was slammed, and we chilled on the beach this time. We usually don't do that. We chill upstairs, but
It was so
I had
packed.
a nice time.
Yeah, that we went
Friday
down
or
to the beach
Saturday?
on
Friday night.
There was like 40 dogs there.
Yeah.
I've never seen it so crowded.
Yeah.
That's my favorite place.
Oh.
Get drinks. Oh.
It was
Well,
good. It was good. I had beer,
Yeah, it was back to school basically.
and then we drank wine. We forgot something. We went out to dinner. Went to Novecento to have just like whatever chorizo and wine. We forgot to say holograma at the end, bro.
I did forget. That's so funny. Blew it.
We blew it. And then we went to my house and had more wine with the guest from last week, Rafa's cousin Alex.
It was
That
nice.
was nice. And then Saturday, I've been working. I've been working nonstop. I go to print with a book tomorrow, so I don't know. I've been working, so I worked on Saturday and Sunday.
Cool.
But I went to performance piece,
Which is all right.
and it was not my favorite thing, but it was fine. I shouldn't say that in case they look me up or something, but they won't. We went to see a performance at Emerson Dorsch Gallery, and it was these blocks of dry ice, and they would pour honey on it, and the honey would freeze, and then you could pick up the honey as a whole piece, and then people would start eating them. But as they started eating them, it would melt in their hands. So it was interesting. I mean, it wasn't. I just need to read about it some more.
It was.
Did they put the honey stick back on the ice, kind of like a double dip after it's been in their mouth? Or not?
No, because you can't. It's like literally just the honey.
It's just the
There's
honey.
no stick.
Yeah, but like the frozen honey, and then
Yeah. Put it
quickly
back
put it
on the-
back
on
and
the
touch
block
different
of
parts
ice.
of the ice. And
It was
I
mostly
mean-
kids, and they were like, "Oh my god, it's melting!" They couldn't
Yeah.
They didn't expect it to melt right in their hands, and then it did. It was
And then
funny.
I drank after that and fucked up my toe. Oh, sorry. I messed up my toenail, kicked the counter by mistake, and like all of a sudden my toe is bloody and my toenail's like cut in half vertically, guys. Not
ooh, that's the
horizontally.
painful one.
Vertically, a middle toenail. Yeah, whatever. Thought I was gonna have to remove it. Was very dramatic.
Ooh, I
Nothing
could
happened.
see
It's not
it.
a big toe, right?
At least that's what my mom. So I go to my parents' house yesterday to like get surgery on the toe because I didn't want to deal with it. I was like, "Mom, you're gonna have to do surgery on the toe," and I go, and my parents are like, "It's not even the big toe." I'm like, "Damn it!" So yeah, that was my weekend.
What else happened on the weekend, guys?
Well, I went. This is my ventures of weekend. So my daughter had her 10th birthday party. So we went bowling in Doral, which I think is called Kings. I've never been there before, and it was actually pretty cool. And I think I bowled my best game of all
Nice.
time there. I got a 149. I was like, all right. It
Nice.
was all strikes and spares, and I think I missed maybe 5 pins the whole game.
Oh, they must have thought you were a superhero.
Yeah, but I wanted to hit 150. I ended up 149. I was so
Annoying.
mad at the end. I was like, oh, come on. At least get up to that 50%, but I didn't. But it was fun. It was fun. The kids had fun. And
Good.
and,
Was that on Saturday?
That was on Saturday.
That was
It
a great day to go bowling.
Yeah, it was raining
It was
so
a
bad.
great day to
Yeah.
work on editing a book. It was a fantastic.
Or to watch a marathon. I saw Jaws, Dirty Harry, Casino, and The Godfather were all back to
Oh,
back
my
that day.
Lord.
I didn't see them all, but I saw parts of different, during the course of the day.
That's the thing. What do we do when it rains? When you live in Miami, it's a very
It's a nice rainstorm.
I love it whenever.
What'd you
I
do,
do too.
Rafa?
My cousin was in town. You guys remember from last week's show? He was here all week, so I had to host and show them around. Had to go out a little more than the usual. And so on Tuesday, I went to Churchill's, and my buddy Turo was playing Noise, which I love Noise. Everybody knows it.
Oh my God! I went with you one time to the Noise.
Did you?
Yes, I've never seen anything like that before.
What
Really?
is it? I don't know what that is.
I don't remember it when we went to Noise, but it's not even music.
The Noise
it's
conference. It was just noise.
So so it's not music. It's noise. It's literally these guys were playing.
It's experimental
noise.
Sound.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know why, but when they play it well, I love it. And Turo's so good at it because he brings you back. Like it's almost like a song. It almost starts to go into like a song, and then he brings you right back out. To me, I loved it. My cousin was like, "What the hell is this?" He didn't get it at all. Didn't get it at all. But it just hyped me up for Noise Conference so much. I can't wait to go.
That's
when it comes
hilarious.
around.
When is it again? September's like in a week.
It's coming, but I don't remember. Maybe it's in
November.
Is it November or January? It's one of the two.
Arturo's good at everything he does. Let's just say that too.
Yeah.
So good. We both have a crush on him. Rafa and I have a collective crush on. Yeah.
Then Thursday, another friend of mine, she plays in a band called Cloud Solo. She actually played on the radio one time.
Natalia?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Natalie. And she was playing at Floyd for this 3 points like pre-thing going. Anyway, I went to go see that, she played well. That was fun, but I can't handle Floyd, so I had to leave right after because the place is like, it's just not my vibe. And then finally on Saturday, apart from Friday, I did Wet Lab, and then Saturday after the performance, went to a place called Swamp Space, which is right by. It's in the Design District, and they had a bunch of bands. And there's this band right now. They used to be called Mo Booty, but now they're called Haute Tension.
It's Haute Tension. It's not Haute.
Oh, sorry,
Rafa.
I'm not French, bro. I wasn't sure if it was German or French.
I mean,
is that like ready to wear?
Because in German that reads heute, but I guess not. Anyway,
maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, whatever. Tension.
There, that sounds better.
Okay, whatever. They're playing a gig every day in August. Okay, because they're releasing an album on August 31st, and they're playing in different places in Miami. Every single day of August.
They're playing every day in August. They've played every day in August. It's August 28th.
That's pretty cool. I like that. It's a good promotional
you
tour.
You can catch them like tonight, tomorrow.
Just in Miami. Always in Miami.
Always in Miami. So,
what type of music?
Haute Tension.
Huh? What type of music?
That's like, now what they sound like is like a surf rock, but like a little harder. But the guitar sounds real dangly, like surf rock. And then they just hit the drums a little more. And there's not many lyrics or anything like that. It's a lot of instrumentals, but
that's cool, man. It's like a documentary. 31-day promotion in one city.
Totally,
like total shoestring.
Yeah,
you have to find 31 venues. It could be at Cranon Beach one day.
So they actually played, I think, at the,
Virginia Key,
at the Nature Center.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cranon Beach.
Where are they from?
They're from here.
Are they from
yeah.
The Nature Center has like a little contemporary art.
I went to it this weekend. I went to the Coral Reef exhibit. Yeah, on Saturday night.
So wait, So I've been seeing that these guys are going to play like for a while now, but I haven't caught their show. I finally caught it. They were great. And then I saw some other stuff in that space, and it was great. And then I took my cousin to Las Rosas because he wanted to go somewhere a little more.
And then you took him to the airport, and he's gone now.
Yes.
So thanks for coming, Alejandro.
Yeah.
It's definitely haute tension because it's like high tension.
You're right.
Yeah. I just was thinking about that.
I just don't know any French, man. I told you I need to take a class, but I can't. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like the worst part. It's like
you pronounce it like a Spaniard. It's horrible.
It's the worst part.
All right, well, that's your weekend talk. And next up is our regular segment.
What are you listening to, guys?
I'm going to start this one. We're going to make it quick all the way around. In honor of Ed King, who was a guitarist for Lynyrd Skynyrd, passed away this week, just after Aretha Franklin. I'm going to go with, Lynyrd Skynyrd, I saw the Showtime special on them. They played it because he just died, I guess. I didn't know a lot about him. But I'm going to go with Gimme 3 Steps, man. It's just, they have a lot of good songs, but
I was cutting the rug down at a place called Juz with a girl named Linda Lou.
Woo woo.
So it's just a hardcore in your face Southern rock. So I'm going to go with Gimme 3 Steps. Ed King, rest in peace. Leonard Skinner.
Nice. I was going to sing my song also because this is my mood right now. I'm going to throw it back. Hanging round downtown by myself, and I've got so much
What are you doing?
to sit and think about myself,
and there she was.
Whatever, that's how I feel. Marcy Playground, Sex and Candy. It's
Platform
so not
double
like me
shoes,
to
and
do-
there she was.
But that's it's in my head right now. F it. That's
It's in
what
my
I feel
head now,
like.
too.
Good. It's a good song.
All right, Rafa, what do you got?
Okay, so after I went to the Two Rose Noise show, I was like, no, but Alex, this guy's like really good at music. Like, don't worry about what you just saw. He was like, but this guy plays the drum really well, but they're not even making music. So then I put on his metal band. It's called Cave of Swimmers. And the song's called The Prince of the Power of the Air. And it's amazing. It's a great song. Go check it out. It's a very like operatic metal, and it's really cool.
Cool.
And my cousin was like, "Oh man, I wish I would have seen this live." So check that out. I heard, Brett, that you're a big Pink Floyd fan. Is that true?
I love Pink Floyd; they're my favorite. But I wasn't gonna say Pink Floyd on
Okay.
this one. So I'm a huge fan of listening to albums from front to back. So I
Good.
love albums. But I'm gonna give you two because the album I'm listening to right now is Medeski Martin.
Hang on, a lot for those folks who don't, and our listeners who don't know what an album is. Google it real fast and then put it in context. Go ahead.
It's okay. I think most of our listeners
Tells
are
the
40
story,
plus.
right? Tells the
Yeah.
story.
I think all of our listeners are 40 plus.
I think our
It's
listeners
okay.
know what a gramophone record is.
Oh, good
Thank
one,
you.
Rafa. Good one.
That's a nod to my audience there. Thanks, Rafa.
My next goal is to start investing into vinyl again and start buying some records. So
Yeah.
So what was that first one? What was it?
So the first album that I've been listening to lately is one of my all time favorites, which is Medeski, Martin and Wood, and I love Combustication, and there's another one I listen to also, but that's one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys know Medeski, Martin and Wood at all.
Can you
No,
sing
but
a
I'm
little bit?
excited.
Can you-
It's all instrumentals, jazz fusion.
Oh,
wow.
I'm excited.
So and talk about noise. I've seen these guys live, and I saw a whole set where none of them were playing the same thing at the same time, and it was incredible because I know how hard that is to do. I mean, it's hard to play different things. So they were making noise, and then they would come back together, and they
Ooh,
would go
I
back
love
out. It
that.
was really cool stuff. But these guys are awesome. You guys would love it. If I have to pick a song, there was a song that popped up on my playlist the other day, which was "Love and Happiness" by Al Green.
It's so
Oh
good.
my god,
It's so
You know,
good.
make you want to do wrong, make you want to do right. Come on,
Yeah, there it is.
that's
There
a
it
classic.
is.
I love that song.
Good
So that was
stuff,
something
man.
that
We'll
Such a
put
good
those
song.
both on the radio. Actually, I'm going to
we
use
come
that
back,
in
it's gonna
my
be back.
I'm going to use that in my campaign. I'm going to use that as my campaign
What,
song,
Love and
Brett.
Happiness?
No, the first one that they
Combustication?
yeah,
I
Combustication.
like that one.
Cuz
You know what?
instrumental.
Sex and Candy. That's
Yeah, there she was.
Sex and Candy, baby.
Come on, guys.
All right, all right.
Free Sex and Candy.
Well, it's 6:51 and we haven't heard from anybody out there in Rat Radio Land on Facebook Live if you're
We got some
listening.
hellos.
We
Huh?
did.
We got some hellos.
Is Chip
Did we get
listening
some?
today?
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Is Chipper on there?
Hello to the listeners.
Oh, here we
Well,
go.
there's me.
So it's Monday, August 27th, 2018. It's almost 7 o'clock here. No One's Listening show, episode 120. And it's time to talk of the town. We got some good talk of the town today. Okay. So all the council candidates are in. So we're going to vote for the council in November. I'm not sure the exact day, but we'll tell you as it comes. And so all the council candidates have officially registered. Registration's over. The mayoral candidates have officially registered also. Okay. Brett, are you, as a sitting council member, going to do any type of endorsements or anything like that, or are you just going to play it by ear?
Absolutely no. Not giving any endorsement.
But you got to work with these guys.
Of course. And you know what? I got to say that I like all of them. I mean, I think we're in a situation where we really can't lose here. We got a full group. I know every single person running, and they're all good people. They all got their hearts in it, so I can work with any of them.
Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. Obviously, you don't want to say any record. There's 5 guys, and 3 of them can qualify, right? You don't want to say, and then the guy who doesn't get on there, and then some other guy's there, and then,
Sure.
that would be
Awkward.
exactly.
But I seriously like all of them. I mean, that's not just a political answer.
Okay, well, we're on the radio here, so nobody could see your face. And what I'm going to ask is that I'm going to announce these guys, okay? And you just make a face for how you truly feel about these guys.
Oh, this is what you call good radio, folks. This is...
Ready? Okay. The first up is Jeffrey Gonzalez.
I'll say stuff about them.
Okay, do you know this guy? Because
Yeah, I know
we don't know him at all.
Okay, so Jeffrey, his daughter plays soccer with my daughter, so we've talked a lot on the sidelines. I met with him on Friday just to get a feeling for why he wants to run, and straight up great guy. I mean, really good guy. He's gonna, he's new. Not a lot of people know who he is, so he's gonna have a lot of work in front of him. But he just wants to do something good for his community. He has kids living here, his 2 daughters, and I mean, for me, it's the right reason, and I think it's going to be good to hear a little bit more of what he wants to do. But he's still got to understand a lot of the issues out here and start deciding which direction and which way. But I think he seems like a pretty good guy.
You have to respect the new guy who just moves into town and wants to get involved. You know, so and because getting involved means he has to. He didn't just call. Brett says, "Oh, I spoke with him for a little while." Everybody who's running speaks with all the council members, current, past, future. I mean, they do their due diligence. So it's nice to see a new guy. And by the way, your face was, I think your face was very nice. You gave a thumbs up with your reaction of the face. For all of you in Radio Land who can't see, the reaction.
Idea. That was the idea, that we would comment on the reaction.
All right.
Thumbs up and a good face for all of
All right, let's try the next one. Let's try the next one.
Face for this guy? Yeah. Next up is Luis Loreto, who is a former founder of Key Biscayne. He is an international government relations consultant, was a U.S. ambassador to the Organization of American States.
Ambassador Loreto.
And he was already on the council way back when. This is the old guard coming in to get new guys like you out of here.
Now, I've met with Luis, personally also when he was thinking about running, and again, his heart is in the right place. He wants to see that that good people are up there. He was part of the charter committee that wrote the charter for our village. He was on the first council. He's been in politics for a while with being an ambassador. I think it was under Bill Clinton, and we spoke a lot. And he just wants to see that people are working well on there. And I know from my understanding of talking to him and other people, he's a well-rounded person, very level-headed and easy to work with. So he would be a great person to have up there as well.
I've never questioned, especially with this list, I don't question the integrity or the even the managerial skills of any of these people, but sometimes I wonder if they have just very conflicting opinions. So the next guy I would see, maybe I'm confused with Mr. Loreto, but
Ambassador Loreto.
Ambassador.
Yeah,
Loreto.
he's thumbs up too. Good reaction on the face, by the way, too, from Brett on that one.
Because next up is Ed London, who also was already on the council before, former vice mayor, works in real estate. And if I'm correct, Ed London was a very much a low taxes, reduced taxes guy. And now there's talk of raising taxes to make sure we don't have a shortfall and stuff like that. And it depends on who you are on the council. You might not want this guy coming in and tanking your proposals, especially with some of these capital projects that are coming up. So that's why I don't question the integrity of these people. I don't think anybody's like a schemer or anything like that, and that they will be good managers in that sense.
Sure.
But I do, you say that, yeah, everybody's cool, but if they kind of have the different opinions than you, then it's not so cool, is it?
It's true. You have different visions and different directions you want to go into. And it all comes, there's 7 people up there. There's 7 votes. You have one person that might go an opposite way, but they got to convince at least 3 other people to go with them to go in that direction. I like Ed. Ed's a good guy. Ed, people say that he wants to reduce taxes. The way I see Ed, what I like about Ed is that he wants more efficient government. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's a great thing. Actually, when we were looking for new managers, one of the candidates for the new manager gave me a book about efficient government. I read it from front to back, every single word, over the weekend before we made the decisions. And I was glad I read that. And it talked about how they laid out all the processes of each department, and they found out where the bottlenecks were and how to reduce that. So what Ed is trying to do, he was trying to bring consultants in to find out and figure out those issues, so we can reduce taxes because we can have a more efficient government. If it's only to reduce taxes or reduce taxes,
put that in context.
I don't agree with that. We have projects online and stuff like that, but if it's to be more efficient, I'm all for more efficiency. So the other thing that Ed is very good at is pensions too. That guy knows more about pensions than any of us, and he could be a great addition up there because we'll go back into a collective bargaining agreement in the next couple of years. And he could be a good resource up there to help us better understand, because that's probably the most complicated thing that we have in front of us.
Okay. Next up is Ignacio Segurola. He is a vice chair on this underground utility committee that you are on head?
Liaison.
You're a liaison from the council because there's an independent committee or
Rafa,
something.
that's liaison.
And he also participates in that condo lobby, right?
He's on the President's Council. What is it called? The Village of Key Biscayne President's Council, I think it is.
Which is the condos.
Condo President Council.
Yeah.
So many words. I always get which one.
And he's running. He's going to come on the show at some point. Not yet because it's too far away from the election. But
he's also on the Chamber of Commerce, the Advocacy Committee too. Ignacio and I know each other very well. We ran with each other last time, and he's been very much involved in a lot of different committees and different places. And again, very level-headed.
So he lives in my building. I see him all the time in the elevator. He's a super nice guy in that sense. So
yeah,
very nice guy, level-headed, easy to work with. What I want to see is a council that can work with each other.
Yeah,
I want
That's a good point.
I want a council that doesn't, that everybody has these self egos that they all want to do their own pet projects and stuff.
But that's what I'm getting at. Like in
Like,
some
who's the
sense, you
dream
have
team?
to you gotta know who you're gonna. I mean, I'm not telling you to say it. That's why I told you the faces. But
I'm not going to say it.
And Manny's stopped,
okay, and the last one is Tony
analyzing the
Winton. And Tony Winton's a former journalist, lives here on the Key. And I don't know any of his positions or anything. When I read his little bio, it was kind of ambiguous, but I think that's what everybody does at the beginning. Do you guys have any opinions on this, Manny? Do you have any opinions on any of these guys?
Well, thanks, Brett. I appreciate all the faces you made tonight. But we also, I just want to say, because somebody commented here in the thread to give him a microphone. I think she was talking about Ignacio's when we were chatting about Ignacio. And Ignacio has already reached out to the show. He's going to be a guest on the show. We thought we would have anyone who wanted to come on the show do it. Anyone running for council. I'm here today, so I'm running for council, but not till 2 years, I think. So. Ignacio, you're invited to come on the show probably like mid-September, and anyone else who's running for council, Ignacio has dibs, is welcome to come on the show. Just give us a shout. You know how to find us, and we'll get you on here. So I agree. Let's give everyone a nice voice. And
yeah, and so then the people running for mayor are Mike Davey and Luis Lucha Cruz. And so one thing I wanted to ask you about now that I have you here, Brett, is you remember those civility resolutions? Mm-hmm. So those, I mean, in my eyes, they never got reported on in the paper much, but it seems to me like those were kind of like censures of the mayor. Would you agree? They might be a little lighter than that, but they were kind of were a little bit like that.
Yeah, there are some. I think some other council members had some issues with.
They were fighting. I
they were
mean,
fighting basically.
I mean, I watched the meeting where.
Well, can you explain for our viewers who are our listeners who don't know what these?
So the council passed these resolutions, and I don't know them. They were cryptic. I feel like they were done in this fashion so as not to totally embarrass the people involved. But basically, they passed these resolutions, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm wrong frequently, that were basically like, we need to be more civil. Okay? Instead of saying, you need to be more civil, it was kind of like, we all need to be more civil, but they all knew who they were kind of talking about. And so this happened twice at least. I tried to look it up, and then I don't know if another one like didn't pass at one point or something like that. And so I know that one of the things now is like you said, trying to find people that you can work with, you know, that people aren't going to be fighting the whole time, because if not, like, you know, things happen. And it was things of like micromanaging the manager too. And so that's why people are like, oh, I want somebody, like if you read their platforms, some of the mayors, the people going for mayor, and some of the council people, they talk about this kind of like delegation as an important thing. Right? And you might be reading it as a layperson and you're like, what are you talking about? And it's because of this micromanaging aspect. And I mean, I don't know. You know, it's funny. It's like, I don't even know how correct I am on this, because it's been so kind of cryptic, and only the real players can, you know, kind of know what's going on. But I suppose that you're looking for somebody who is going to be better at, I don't know, being civil. I don't even know what that means. Just someone you can work with a little better is the
way I look at it is, I would rather be on a team where I score less goals but we win championships than be on another team that doesn't win the championships but I score 100 goals. I don't care about how many goals I score. I just care that we win the championship. So I want a team that's willing to work with each other, sacrifice whatever we need ourselves, and let's just get the thing done. And that's all I want. So I want other people up there that think the same. Like, it's not about me. It's about us and our.
Do you think in the group of candidates that's what you have? I mean, do you think that?
I think so. I mean, we can't agree on everything.
I was going to say, a face report. You kind of rolled your eyes there a little bit there.
Face report.
How bold? Like, imagine you get stacked with two people who are just against your agenda. Let's say just not. They don't see eye to eye on how, I don't know, on exactly what you want to do. Do you kind of roll, or do you fight hard? I mean, that's like a tough idea. Or do you?
Yeah, I mean, you fight your. I mean, you go in there on the council and you say, "I need 4 votes to get this done." That's it, and you look for your 4 votes. But you don't, you know, try to kill somebody else or embarrass somebody else to get those 4 votes.
Okay.
Everybody knows up there that you need to get 4 votes to get something done. They know that. We went through issues where we had this kind of voting where you know, try to get something passed. Somebody really wanted it this way, the other person really wanted it that way. I tried to come in the middle to help one person to try to get it done, but sometimes people don't want to move from where their beliefs are, and it ends up going the opposite direction, and it happens. But in the end of the day, I mean, we have to be friends. We got to be civil about it with each other. But the worst thing to happen is when we start trying to do things behind the scenes, behind each other's backs. That's when it gets really dirty. I think it just should be, you know, let's do it up there in front of the public. Let's get it done. And if you win, you win. If your side doesn't win, you accept it.
Is that where maybe the role of, I mean, how do you see the role of the new manager? How do you see her role in terms of how it's going to be different? How it's going to ensure that she succeeds? How it's going to ensure that you succeed as a council?
Yeah. So it's huge because the manager is a key player here. The manager, basically, we're here to set policy and set vision for our community. The manager is to execute it. We should not get involved with the execution part of this. But you know, previous councils have gotten too much involved into trying to get this stuff done. But we shouldn't have. So the new manager, for instance, I've had people comment that, you know, it looks like the council's not prepared. Well, the manager needs to make sure that we're prepared too, because the manager needs to meet with us and say, these are the items I got. and this is why we're doing this, and this is what questions can I ask from you. The manager also needs to take things off the agenda that may not be ready, because we can look stupid up there if we don't know what's going on, right? So we need to be briefed, and I think the new manager's already taken a huge step on making sure all of us are briefed before the meetings. And it's gonna be
What sort of time commitment is that for you as council members? I mean, you have a job, right? And the mayor-to-be has a job. And so what are the demands on your time outside of your job, especially with what you're describing as the manager's role?
so funny you ask that, because I always tell people when somebody asks me that question, that means they're thinking about running.
I was going to say, Manny's doing his research. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was going to say, that's the first thing that came to mind.
No. Listen, hey, I'm already full on my nip. My NIPA is full. You know what NIPA is, right, Brett? No. NIPA. Our listeners know what NIPA is. I mean, non-income producing activity. I am peaked on my NIPA, so I'm not interested. Let's get back to the question.
He was interested, not anymore after this. It takes a lot of time. Some weeks it's less. Some weeks it's a lot more. It's not like a regular thing, but I mean, you think about it all the time at nighttime.
You meet with the manager alone?
Yeah, I meet with the manager alone.
Okay.
Yeah, I met with her this morning. We've met for about 2 hours. Okay. We went through all the agenda items, and I had issues which we'll probably talk about with the plastic straw ban and things like that in the policy. So they had to talk to the attorneys. Attorneys called me. We went through all of that to see what kind of amendments we can make there.
All right. Well, we got your take on the council member, folks running for council. Maybe if you could, Mayor. Not to put you on the spot, but the two mayoral candidates.
I love both of those guys.
If you can, I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm going to give you a chance to really in a sentence or two sentences. What strengths do each of these gentlemen bring specific to their ability to do what you're saying, to delegate and to work with the manager?
Who they are. So it's Mike Davey, who is an attorney and former councilman, former vice mayor, I think, too, and Luis Lucha de la Cruz. They're both running for mayor, and it's the first time since 2004 that we have a mayoral election. Ever since then, all the elections have been uncontested. So, and they're very similar. They're both attorneys or lawyers or have law degrees. Close enough, right?
No, they're both attorneys.
Yeah,
practicing attorneys.
And they both served on the council, and they're both
they're friends
people.
too.
Yeah, they're good
friends too. Great community members. So maybe you can answer that.
I don't know. Can I plead the fifth on this one?
No. What's the strength?
I love both of these guys.
A strength for each one.
They both care about this community more than anything. Both of them have their heart in it. I think the strengths on Luis de la Cruz. He's a guy that will, if he gets a call that there's some issue of flooding or whatever, he will go and grab the public works director and walk them out to the street and point to that and say, we got to fix that one right now, and they'll start fixing it. So he's a guy that goes out there and gets it done. And Mike Davey, I mean, Mike is an awesome guy also, and he's involved with the Underground Utility Task Force right now, the Education Advisory Board, really connected with the community, knows a lot of people here, loves the community, and really his thing is about whenever I talk to him, he talks about the causeway all the time. We really need to be focused on this, and that is one of our biggest issues. So, and he knows how to get stuff done too. I mean, he goes out there and down to the county and things like that. So, both these guys are awesome. I can't say anything bad about either.
Great answer.
Man.
You said great things about both of them. Yeah. Both great guys.
So I'll extrapolate some things from all of this. Okay, so it sounds like Mike Davey is more of he'll probably be better to get along with on getting things done, but Lucho will like be more of a driver on getting things done, right? But he won't take no shit at the same time, and he's not going to be like, when he wants something, it's his way or the highway. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm just kind of floating.
Yeah, you're extrapolating a lot.
Yeah. Whereas Mike Davey is a little more like, hey, let's do something, but not as hard driving, but he will get along with people better. I don't know if that's right, but that's my impression right now. And this goes to something that I was thinking is we talked about endorsing on the show. Billy Kimball, friend of the show, always talks about how the Islander does not endorse any candidates, and the Islander is almost best prepared to endorse because they go to all the meetings, they know every single person talks to them, but they don't say who they feel are good, have good chances or whatever.
Did they ever, or is it just since they don't live here?
They've never done it.
Yeah, never. Okay.
No, because in the end, they don't want anybody that
Stop reading
It's such
the
a small
paper.
place, and the Islander is really not even They don't do any critical anything. They really just whatever the village says, they repeat it.
No, and they let people give their opinion on there through their.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't endorse anybody.
All right, so they're not endorsing. Neither is Brett.
So I was thinking that Rat Radio should endorse, but at the same time, I keep thinking that I personally will never be educated enough to endorse anybody. I feel like I would just be making a
You can be if you want to be.
Right, but I'm not.
You don't want to be.
I almost won't be. And then I started thinking, Manny definitely doesn't want to endorse because he is friends with both of the mayoral candidates, right? And then I started thinking, how fun would it be if we try and guess who Manny's going to vote for? So, on Friday, Manny went to a party for Lucho's kickoff campaign. He thought it was a good party.
Great
party.
party.
So right now, I feel like the weight.
Oh, weren't we supposed to go?
The weight is going a little bit this way.
Actually, that's why I'm here, because we saw each other at the party, right?
Wait, weren't we supposed to go? What happened?
Yeah, Rafa forgot.
I forgot.
Yeah, I
What?
forgot.
Yeah.
Was there free booze?
Come on. Man.
Well, Mike told me he's having a party coming up next Thursday.
Is there free
be there
booze?
too.
Not this Thursday, but the next is the one. He told me. I told him I'm coming. If you got food and beer, I'm there, man.
See, Brett's with me. I'm not the only one asking for
that's
food.
it. I wanted
We
to
should go to all of
but
them.
Manny never sent that day. He didn't say, "Hey, you guys want to come?" And I totally forgot.
On the chat.
All right. Well,
'Cause I was looking with
I had
cousin and
mentioned
then-
it. I should have said it again, I guess.
Anyway, I think
I thought I did. I said, hey, we're going to Lucho's, and then we're going to the wet lab.
right now Manny's scales are tipped for Lucho because he gave him a good party. But Mike Davey can come back
Hey, Mike.
if he's
get
got
a band
if
for
he's
the
got
party.
a good party. So
We need a
Mike,
band.
if you're listening, that's what it's going to be. If you want to get a good word in around here.
Or at least have Rafa's perception of it.
of Manny's thoughts,
Yeah, of
which
my
he will
thoughts.
never say on the radio, but I can kind of feel it out. I can feel it out a little bit.
Who would you vote for, Rafa, if you could vote?
We're not there yet.
right
We're not
now,
there yet.
But I mean, right now, I've never talked.
We're not
to,
there yet.
I've never
We're not
talked to
there yet.
Lucho, so
Yeah, we're not there yet, so you can. It's like
Yeah,
it's
so
like
right
batted
now
at
I
the
can't.
top of the first.
yeah.
The home
The
team
thing
hasn't
is,
come up
Rafa
yet.
can't vote anyway. That's why it's a fun question. Because it's not
No,
gonna
it's
happen.
but it's not fair though. It's not fair.
Fine.
It's not fair. So hey, we're
Can you
not-
tell Manny's friends with
The
these
other thing
guys?
I could say is this popularity. It's always kind of a popularity contest on the key, and so I worry for some of these candidates. Namely, I feel like Luis Lauredo and Ed London are kind of shoo-ins because of their connections on the key. I feel like this Jeffrey Gonzalez guy is going to have a real hard battle. And so that third place spot is going to go to Ignacio or Tony Winton, and I really think it's probably going to go to Ignacio because he's run before, but I'm not sure yet. And he's already pushing a strong campaign.
I don't think there's anything wrong with someone running more than once. You
No,
know
there
what I
isn't.
mean?
Brett won on his second time.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But the thing I'm telling you is that the elections, I've always said it, it's kind of a popularity contest, as sad as that is, because people vote for people that have completely opposing views, and they'll do it with no qualms. Because I like that guy, and I like that guy too. It's really just who do you like?
Isn't life just a big popularity contest, Rafa?
Is it?
It is.
I hope it's not.
I think it is, though.
All right, what else would we have?
All right. So that's your politics minute. Hey, you guys noticed that they were laying pipe on
On your
Crandon?
face.
On Crandon all week, and they kind of like closed lanes and stuff like that. And I
I
was
live
like,
in
what's
Colony,
going
so
on?
it didn't bother me too much.
Why,
Yes.
what's going on?
In front of the Holiday Colony.
Well, this company, Hotwire Communications, was laying fiber optic cable. And I'm just wondering for who? Does anybody know? I don't. They must have gotten some permits to rip up the streets, that must be heavy permitting, you know? What a inconvenience. So they were laying fiber optic, probably for some buildings here. So keep that in mind because that could get you off your Comcast contract if you don't like Comcast. Okay.
So what was the question?
I was just wondering if anybody knows what they were planning to do with
Brett,
that fiber optic.
Do you know?
No, he doesn't know.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't know.
It has nothing to
I
do with the
should know.
council. It's a private company that just came in and we're like, I want to be,
Sorry.
I want to rip up the streets.
Cool.
And they let them.
Cause traffic.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Bibiana Domit, she completed a mural on the side of the Golden
That was
Hog.
said with sarcasm for those who can't tell.
Is she a friend of the show? That's awesome.
That's why I just
She's
want to
a
make
friend
it
of the
clear.
show in the sense that we have like made fun of some of her editorials in the Islander.
You have.
Oh, sorry.
I'm okay with. I'll take it. I'm
okay.
shit.
That's right. I was looking at each of you with one eye each.
I'll take it.
Man, he has to play politics around here.
God, I'm
He's
2
gotta
years
go-
out, man. I'm 2 years.
He's going to be running.
In 2 years, I'm going to be standing on the corner, and so are you, Rafa. You're going to give me your endorsement early.
So she painted this great mural on the side of the Golden Hog, on the side that faces the entrance block.
I'm excited
Beautiful
to see it. I
mural.
haven't
She did
seen
one
it.
in Wynwood as well.
Yeah.
Very similar.
I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's cool. The
Nice.
only thing is, when I went to go see it today with good friend of the show, Bicycle Bill, I was just thinking to myself, like, can people from Crandon see this? And then I started thinking about the entrance block and if the key bought the entrance block. And then suddenly you have this wall here. And then I started thinking, have you guys ever lived in a place where there's a public square or a park, but it's right next to commerce and like right next to a restaurant or right next to whatever? The Village Green is kind of like that because the gallery is there, but it's got that whole wall. So you would never like be like, I'm at the Village Green and I'm also at the restaurant. You know, you can't really do that there. But with this entrance block, which is kind of plateaued right now, right?
Yeah.
Brett says, yeah.
There's some talk there.
Yeah,
but we'll
there's
see
some
what
talk, but
happens.
there's nothing moving or anything. But
Maybe
in
we'll
some
find
kind
out.
of amazing,
Let's find out.
it's some kind of like alternate dimension where everything works out awesome, like the way I want it to.
Hopefully.
This park, could you imagine where it's like right up against the Harbor Plaza? And so you've got the Golden Hog kind of like right there, but you're also in the park, like right there. You know what I mean?
Picnics.
And so now that talk of picnics that I always make fun of, where they always say at the councils,
How did I
like,
know
this
that that's
park
where
will be
this was
so
going?
great, we'll have a picnic, could actually happen. I wasn't going there, but because I've been to places where there's like a plaza or a park surrounded by commerce,
Yeah.
and it works really well because the parents can be like on the terrace over here while the kids are playing in the park. You know what I mean? And it's that like best of both worlds. I don't know. Just
That
food
sounds
for
great.
thought.
I mean, the Golden Hog, I can see it right now. They're a point of sale display right when you walk in. Picnic baskets. You can buy one there, ready to go with all the.
They could just put chairs out
Cutlery, yeah.
on the
George, are you listening?
like
So,
in the area.
I mean, is there anything going on with the entry block? That's always a tired topic, but from what I understand now,
No,
and we're talking. This is rumor mill. They want to sell it, but they want a higher price than what they paid. They can't really sell that and the gas station together because there's two separate ownership groups. Do you know that, Rafa?
Yeah.
Okay. The Harbor Plaza, who knows what they want to do or be part of anything. There's Calusa, the Calusa Annex, and the connectivity or not because of the forest there that you can't cut it. What's going to happen there?
Good question. I think that's something that we need to sit down and figure out because there's a talk of a new library, and that's been a location that's been spotted to put a cultural center and library into it. But there's two other properties that we're looking at as well. If we don't do a library, what would it be? Would it be a park? Would it be what is it that we want to do with it? We need to come up with that. The thing is that they're asking.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
What do we want to do with it? We don't really own it right now.
No. But if we did buy it,
Okay.
when you buy something, you want to know what you're going to use it for, right?
So
you don't
is
buy
there-
something and
is
then
there
figure it out.
Are there
I
conversations?
don't know if that's that piece of property. If you got it, like I don't know if you want to know. You can figure it out after. If you can
Maybe.
get it without a purpose, I think, because you
Maybe.
could always sell it again. I
Yeah, you
mean,
could resell it.
Yeah,
right?
that's not a. That's
Why
not.
not-
a
But
bad
depends on how much
property.
you pay for it.
Yeah, that too. I mean, obviously, yeah, you'd have to make.
Why not just get it? Why not
Yeah.
just get it
I
before
think
someone else comes in and gets it?
I think what we're looking at is that we could buy it. That's definitely feasible. The problem is that we need to rationalize at what price do we pay for it, and we need to go back to our taxpayers and say this was a reasonable price to pay for it. Doesn't
Because
mean we
you
have
have to bury power lines, you have to build a new bridge.
Yeah, we
you
got
have
other
to-
things
you got
that
a lot
we
of
need to
stuff
do. But I mean, should we pay twice as much what a private investor would pay? I mean, is that okay with our
No, we need like a
taxpayers?
straw buyer or something like that. That
Yeah,
would
so
be
you
awesome.
have to be very careful. So they bring us a appraisal report, and it'll tell you that it's worth this much, and they'll say this is how much you should
They did
buy
that,
it. 'Cause
right?
yeah, so they already did that.
What
And
did it come in at, the
came in at like
appraisal?
$20 million.
The appraisal was at $20 million.
Their appraisal. We're doing our
theirs.
own appraisal.
Oh, okay.
I told them
Because they bought it for what, 15?
They bought it for 15. But I told them I don't care about the appraisal. In my head, I can quickly do how much is the rent going for? How much square foot are you allowed to build there? You multiply that, and then you actually found out how much income you can make. Then by that size, you know how much it costs to build a building per square foot. That's what you have to add to it. You subtract that, and you get how much the price of land would be. And that's what every investor who's thinking at, if I'm going to, make a 5.5%, 6% return on this every year, how much do I need to put in, and how much would the land be worth purchasing for? And it comes out to a much different number.
So are you doing an appraisal now?
You got.
We are doing an appraisal, yes.
When is that? I mean, is
It's
that
coming up.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. When it happens, of course, the key's always looking for a good deal, and then other people are complaining that they're getting a bad deal, and then things.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it when it happens. We got so much to talk about here, so I want to
for
kind
it.
of keep moving.
The show's over, I thought, almost.
Well, it's over, but we got some good things here.
It's going
over
fast,
when
man.
it's
This is
Tomorrow,
going
the
fast.
council's going to vote on a plastic straw ban, and I wanted to ask you if this is I read the article that it's happening, but I'm not sure if it's a straw ban in village government buildings and their people and their contractors and the place in the rec center, the restaurant there, or is it would it apply to all the commerce on the Key?
Yeah, so that's what I brought up, because when you read the ordinance, it's very unclear. Actually, in the ordinance, it says that we can fine people for the use of it at individuals for $25. I said we're going to be running around finding my 10-year-old that got served by somebody that wasn't supposed to give it to them. I said that's crazy. This is not what we're supposed to be doing.
No.
I think the intent is that we go tell all commercial establishments throughout the village, and anybody who's working for the village on any public land that's the village-owned land or facilities, and just say you're not using plastic, and if you do, this will be the fine. But if somebody wants to use it in their house, or if you take it from your house to the beach, I mean, that's really hard to enforce.
Of course. Okay, so but you would do it for commercial
I
establishments
would do it.
on the Key.
Personally, I would do that, because if you do that, you're going to reduce at least 95% of the issue.
Yeah.
The other 5% is not worth the resources to go after.
Of course.
No.
And let's just do it that way and get it done.
How does it work for a place like 7-Eleven?
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
what I was
franchise?
wondering.
Yeah, the
Because that's all-
grocers.
like that.
You know what? That's happened to them already.
Can you do a Slurpee without a straw?
They are the.
With a
They,
paper straw or
Well, you do
whatever?
paper straw.
Paper
you can
straw.
bet that 7-Eleven has already tackled this in other places,
Of
and they probably
course,
have
of
a straw
course.
that's
We're
like
not-
almost exactly like
we're
plastic
not the leading
already.
people in
They're just
this,
not
yeah.
using it yet because it costs 3 cents more than the plastic one.
Yeah, but we're not going
They're,
into
they're going to
any-
have it easier almost than
Than
other places.
the
Yeah,
small
but-
places.
Yeah.
A lot
thi-
of people already have it.
But this law is not going into like anybody's houses and telling you can't
No.
use plastic
Oh,
straws.
no,
I mean,
yeah.
It's just it's just to reduce the 95%.
I think people are for it. I was just wondering. Okay, well,
Yeah, I don't
we'll see.
think
We'll see.
anybody's against it.
We'll see how you guys vote tomorrow, and we'll talk about it next week. I saw that the buried power lines are finally kind of making it into the budget, and I was just going to ask, what's the holdup? Is something came up of like borrowing money, and do you borrow it all at the same time, or do you borrow it all in installments, or do you borrow it all at the same time, but you only pay for it in installments as you use it? Is this really going to hold? What I really want to know is not what you guys are going to do, because it seems so heady, but like, is this really is this the real holdup, or is like the council just dragging? Are there certain people on the council dragging their feet that don't want to do it?
Neither. So there's no hold up, and the council's not dragging their feet on this. So we have a master plan that we've already approved a year ago. We got a utility task force is overseeing making sure that this master plan is delivered, and it's coming in October. They're going to deliver in October. The only thing that we slowed down on is that we have a new manager, and we were going to bring it to council tomorrow, but we said no. We need to stop. let the new manager come in, let her understand what's going on to help us guide and the pathway.
Okay, so it's like on. It's on.
It's on, and it will come to a vote at some point. But this is going to be a vote by the people, by the property owners, not by the council, to see if we go to special assessment, which is what we're looking at going in that direction. So,
so wait,
Special
it's
assessment.
not going to be. So the condos got their way, and they're not going to. The condos aren't going to participate in paying for buried power?
They will participate. So we hired a company that actually goes property by property and tells you what your benefits are going to be, and they adjust it. And we thought that was the most fair way of doing it, because if you just say that everybody's going to pay for everything, what happens is if you have one property that costs 20 or let's say a $5 million house here, and next door you have another $5 million house, but maybe that person lived there for 30 years, let's just say, their taxes are very, very small because they've been homesteaded in. The other person just moved in. They're getting the exact same benefit, but the person next door is paying like 8 times more than the person here. So we said, it's better that this is actually, let's see who has the actual benefits, and let's make sure it's what people are getting, they're actually paying for. So to go the assessment process actually is the better way. It's a more equitable and fair way to do it.
Wow, I don't know if I agree with that. Like, because I look at like traffic on the key, and then I would like blame all the condo dwellers for all the traffic, because they use proportionally much less. They have proportionally much less land, but they put so many more cars into the land. You know, we're only like 1 square mile, but we all pay for the traffic together, when they should maybe only pay. The condo people should maybe only pay all of it because they are the thing. And I don't. How did these power line people get this? This is so weird. This is not what. Like, how did they get this through? This is crazy to me. Like, I can't believe it's not just every resident on the island is paying for this.
Yeah,
because it's, especially for businesses and stuff like that, they all cut when the power cuts out during a hurricane and stuff like that. They all are going to come back on, much faster. Okay, and so that's like a benefit for everybody who comes back after the hurricane. Like, how do you even? I mean, so you can weigh it, but wow, what a way to do government! Like to like be like, are we going to do this for like other things too? Like, oh, you only.
Yeah, so everybody's going to pay for it. That nobody's going to be, you know, saying they're not paying for it, but it will be adjusted based on how much you're getting from the project. So, for instance, I'm moving into a home. If you knocked on my door and said that, you know, you could pay a couple $100 more a year and we'll take this down, I'll write my name on there because I don't want these things hanging in my backyard. If you go to a condo and you say the same thing, they're going to say, I don't see any poles in front of me, so I really don't care about this, and I don't want anything to do with this. Well, what we have to do is tell them that there is an actual overall portion that's benefiting everybody, because your lines are coming overhead all the way down and then going underground. So there's a benefit to everybody for this. So they're going to pay that portion. But then it will get adjusted based on whether you have lines directly in your backyard, if you don't have lines, because there's actually houses that have buried lines too. So those houses will get adjusted because they don't have anything getting buried in their lines. So it's not just, and there's also condos that have overhead lines, right? So, you know, I actually think this strip that we're on right now has overhead lines, so they're going to get an extra benefit. So there's all these different adjustments that are going to happen based on your actual property.
Like paying for school taxes when you don't have kids.
Yeah, but that's what we actually do.
Betterment of the community.
Like, do we think,
that's what I'm saying.
like, would we actually, but would we do that? Like, if I don't have any kids, should I pay no school tax? Like, or pay like an adjusted rate, like a very like low adjusted rate?
I think it sucks because I don't have kids, but I understand why it's important to have good education.
Or like all the people who can vouch that they never go to the beach should be exempt from beach renourishment. Like, this is
it's part of your property value, man.
It's part of the property. It's just the way it works.
That's what you're saying now. But apparently we have a system now that can make it so if you don't go as much to the beach, you don't pay as much.
No,
but
we don't have that system yet. We
much,
just have it for the buried power lines.
Just for the buried power lines.
That's dangerous.
But that's something to think about, right?
I cannot believe that
it's something to think about.
That the condos got away with that, because they posted in my building like, hey, the condos shouldn't have to pay for this. Like, somebody, it was in like a newsletter that my building, and to me, I was just like, what do you mean? Like, don't you understand that like all the key businesses will have power when you don't have power? Like, this is a shared cost for the whole, like, you live here. This isn't a thing where we are all, I don't know. That is dangerous. To me, that's like dangerous government. That's dangerous.
But remember, we're also, it's not just the people who get the benefits or not, but it's also 2 houses or 2 condos that are right next to each other. One is homestead lower, and the other one is much higher. So the proportionate of the taxes that's going to be used would be much higher with the same benefit that they're going to get from the project. So looking at this as a capital improvement project, we think that it may be the best also political way to get the project done, because we need to get everybody, or the majority of the people on board if we want to get this done. So, in the end of the day, again, I live in a house. If you knocked on my door and said, pay a little extra to get that done, if not, it may not never happen. I'll just say,
so is this
I'll pay a little extra
like
for it.
It's a referendum?
It's not referendum. So if we do special assessment, it's actually a mail-out ballot. Every property owner gets one vote. And it doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not, but you have to be a property owner and you get one vote.
You're in on this
put
one,
it in
Rafa.
and you send
You're
it back.
in.
If you're renting, you don't get any vote in this at all. So that will just allow you to do the assessment. If we go for general obligation bond, we'll have to go through referendum, which will give us a better interest rate.
All right, Rafa. Well, you'll get your vote on this one. Let's move on
Okay,
to the next
can
topic.
we
It's a
do
good
something
debate.
funny? Because we've just been doing everything is so. This is so. That's some of the comments here. Somebody says, "Don't get political." Okay.
Listener.
Too
I
late.
try to talk about emotions and feelings, and they don't let me.
And somebody says that the condos are paying, but they've worked out a tiered system, which seems weird to me. It's nothing else is tiered on this island, but suddenly this one is. But we'll get into it more as we get these chances to vote, and we get to see how much we pay per unit or whatever it is. Anyway,
Hey, it might work out good for you. You never know.
okay, so this is something that happened that was kind of funny. I hope we can make it funny if you guys are feeling.
Do I look like I'm feeling funny today?
It's Monday, August 27th, 2018. This is a No One's Listening show, episode 120. It's 7:30, so we're kind of at the end. But
Whatever.
there's something that happened that's funny, kind of funny this week, or maybe not so funny, but it was a little moment here.
Better be funny now, Rafa.
Yeah. Right.
What happened, Ralph? It better be funny. What happened?
Okay, so
What happened?
D Squared Engineering,
Oh.
they announced a breakthrough in erosion prevention for the beaches, and they said that it would be half the price, and it makes it so the beach would erode much less. It would even bring sand onto the beach. I think that's what it says. Let me read you the technical details. Okay. The anti-erosion system reverses the negative effects of tidal erosion on coastal environments by facilitating the natural accumulation of sand. This is accomplished by promoting a molecular interaction between water and sand, increasing cohesiveness. It says it's FDA approved. The cost is half of what it is. So after this gets posted, and Brett, you were tagged in it, which I think is funny. I know you
That's
don't
what I
have
heard.
anything to do with it.
Yes, you were tagged.
You were tagged
got a
in
lot
it
of people
as
writing.
somebody
Hang on a
who-
second, Rafa. A molecular.
Oh, yes,
Say that again.
A molecular interaction between water and sand.
And when that happens, it just kind of grows, like it grows sand.
What happened?
It increases its cohesiveness.
I guess it gets.
Does it?
And then
it's
increases in size via natural tides and wave actions.
What?
It's FDA approved, blah, 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 and it's going to cost half of what any normal renourishment program could ever cost. So after this gets posted, people start asking, hey, what is this technology?
that mean?
What's going on? What's that?
I went to the website. I couldn't
Yeah, I
find it.
couldn't find anything. What's the technology? I mean, what are you doing? What do you
Is
got?
there a big reveal? I mean, why
And
can't you
then-
just tell us?
And they answered just this kind of kind of vague marketing speak without saying absolutely anything. And then they promised a big reveal, kind of things are going to happen in the coming weeks. And so everybody kind of just was like, what is this? Is this snake oil? What is going on? And why, right? And so I just want to know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
Brett,
was up
what
with
do you
that?
know
was-
about this?
what was
'Cause your
going
name-
on with
If
that?
Brett's been
why did they
tagged, I
talk-
wanna
What was
know.
all that talk? What's the
What do you know
what's the
about it?
point?
I mean,
I wrote an email. I called Robert. Also spoke to him too. I know very little. He just mentioned basically sent me an email of exactly what you guys said at one point, and he mentioned it in an advocacy committee. I said, well, that sounds interesting, but I don't know what it is. So I wrote an email to all the council members to be distributed to all of them, just saying that, this is what I know, and it is exactly what you just said about increasing your...
All it said that you were obviously a pro for beach renourishment and figuring out how to
I'm always
continue.
a pro of beach renourishment.
Who isn't?
And-
right?
How we do it is
And
actually-
Well, I think it's worth exploring. Let's explore it. If it is something that can work and it's healthy and because I want to know what the negative impacts are. Because is there no negative impacts? Are there negative impacts? If there are, what are they? And
Or where have you
should
done
we
this
just
before?
stay away from it? If there are none and it's really half the cost and it can work, okay, let's look into it. But let's look into it. What I got worried about is that we're already moving in a pathway of getting on the with the Army Corps of Engineers, working with the federal government. And I just don't want this in any way to derail that for any reason. So I just wanted to be very sensitive on if it's in the Islander, exactly, it's more of an exploration, not something that we are doing right now because there's been no talk about it from council yet.
Well, that's the problem with the marketing speak and social media and all of that, because there's zero control of what you're saying, and it could get out of control, basically.
Exactly.
Personally, I don't use the beach, so I don't think I should pay for it.
Yeah, right.
Haven't used it this summer. No, I'm joking. We did a little bit.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see what comes of that. And that's basically it.
All right, great.
We got calendar.
We got some calendar.
Okay, Thursday, August 30th. This Thursday.
Are you sure?
Free barbecue at noon at the rec center.
Ooh.
Ask.
It's not asked, but it is.
Oh.
Yes, it's like senior services at the rec center is putting together a barbecue. I don't have any details on what kind of barbecue.
Noonish?
Noonish. Yes, they eat early. Okay? It's at noon on the dot.
They eat early.
But get out there, meet the Rat Radio crew. Some of us
we'll
will be there. We'll be there for free barbecue. Active Singles on the Key is happening.
We'll be signing people up for active singles on the key.
That's this Thursday at noon at the Rec Center. October 19th and 20th, we got the Haunted Hike. We were talking about it last week. If you guys don't know what this is,
I want to be a judge, so I've already put my name in there.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
Are there judges? Yeah. How
All
does
right,
it work?
well,
down.
we'll see if Rafa endorses you. And then October 19th, 20th, the Haunted Hike. We're looking for teams. Friends of the show, Golden Hog. You guys wanted to do it last year. Maybe you'll do it this year.
It's you walk down this path, and it's like a haunted house, but down Bill Bag's path. And it's awesome.
Dark.
You're on the water. It's dark. It's scary as hell. It's a good time. Bunch of friends hanging out.
That's cool.
Too.
That's very cool.
People
Can I bring the
crying.
kids?
Yeah, you can, but they start crying. So
It's
just
for
so you know,
kids.
Some
it's really
kids,
scary.
some kids cry.
It's
Yeah,
true
mine
scary.
Real quick, it's a long way away. I just want to give a shout out to the teams that are already registered. Key Biscayne Yacht Club, Tom Weber, Biscayne Nature Center, the Rec Center, and the Calusa Club are on board. Diego from the Postal Shop will probably do it as well.
Nice.
And then a couple of other teams that
Diego's
will be
the man.
back. Also coming up for the calendar, September 15th, it's Coastal Cleanup Day.
Okay.
47 locations across South Florida doing a cleanup on the coast. So everyone's always asking me, hey, Manny, when are you going for a paddle? Hey, Manny, when are you going for a cleanup? Well, this time we're going to do a coastal cleanup on paddle boards. So if you're interested in doing that, please let me know. I'm putting a little squad and army together to go back into the Bill Bags. We're going to go back to the beautiful forests, mangrove forests, No Name Harbor, and do a sweep on paddleboard. It's a lot of fun. So if you're interested, give me a shout, September 15th.
Very cool.
I have a calendar.
Sure.
It's very personal, but I'm putting it on here because whatever.
It's about to happen.
It's kind of like my show anyway. I partnered up with two colleagues of mine and have been organizing this exhibition that opens September 14th, the night before the coastal cleanup, so don't get too crazy. But it's an exhibition called Emergency Contacts, mostly artists from New York, some from Miami, local artists. There'll be performances that night. And it's, oh my God, I don't even know what time it's at. Probably 7. There's an artist roundtable at 5 o'clock with a group of the artists and two curators. It's on 29th Street and Northwest 7th Avenue. near Las Rosas, Raf. So
Everything
go there.
works out that night.
Everything works out that night. It's going to
Actually,
be
there's
great.
a show after, I think. Oh, no, that's at the closing.
That's
Never
at the
mind.
closing October 5th.
so we can
I'll
go
mention
to-
that later. It's
we
a
can
church
go
house,
to Las Rosas after.
Yes.
There'll be drinks at emergency contacts.
Of course, there will be drinks
Of
at
course.
emergency contact,
know if you
and
guys
it's
know
going to be a
about
really
the-
cool exhibition. I'm excited about it. That's the book I've been working on, and
Rafa, just so
Yeah.
you know, at 109 of this show, a video appeared of you on here. So,
Ooh.
Someone put a video of
What type
me?
of-
no, you
video
turned
is
your
that?
you turned your camera on for a second.
Was
as
it
you
when
were-
he was picking his
as you
nose
were
or no?
doodling. Nope, wasn't.
okay,
but
good.
109. All right. Anything else for the calendar? I have to go make dinner for the boys.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being on the show.
You have a good
finally.
time?
Thank you
Yeah,
for
it's been like
coming.
I think 2.5 years. I was supposed to be on the show, but I had to run to the hospital because of an emergency. But this is the first time I met Anna.
Yes,
and
it's
I have
nice
to
to
say
meet you.
Anna has the best voice for this whole show.
Oh,
She's
what,
like
what?
the voice for this show. I mean,
Thanks.
she beets all you guys out. I'm sorry,
Oh,
but-
thanks.
sure.
So it is my show. No, I'm
It's
joking.
your show.
guys, Of course not.
No, you got to take over.
Rafa would like someone to take over,
Manny's
but I'm
going to
looking
take
at
over
Manny,
at
not
some
me.
point. It's not
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
happen yet, but it'll happen
Yeah.
at some point.
I'm running for council.
Exactly. You need a voice out here.
There you go.
Only if you'll endorse me, Rafa.
And Brett, if you ever come back, you can come back. Can I say that you can come back whenever you want? So if you're like feeling on a Monday, like, hey, I would like to hang out with these guys and just talk a little bit.
Just show up with beer.
We won't.
Yeah.
We won't have all this politics talk, and you can just shoot the shit with us like
That'd be better.
like we normally do. You know, we won't like talk to you about exactly what's going on.
We won't make you play the face game.
Yeah,
Don't worry
you.
about it.
You
Yeah.
play the face game.
The face
but-
game.
Oh,
You did
know.
great, man.
Yeah.
And it was.
but when we get a chance with like a sitting councilman, we gotta use it. You know what I mean?
You made
We
me
gotta
feel like
ask.
you made me feel like a real politician up here, making faces, and I had to make everything straight. You know,
you did do that very well.
You did well.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. One thing that Theo told me a long time ago, and I always like it kind of pissed me off, but at the same time, it's like the real thing. It's just like somebody told him when he was running, be as ambiguous as possible, and don't say anything don't stake any position. Just be amicable, basically, because that's how you get elected in this town. It's kind of sad, but. That's why we got to ask some of these questions, because it's like if not,
need
nobody.
answers.
The Islanders doesn't do it. The Islander does not want to look bad to anybody,
yeah.
They should at
so they
least ask
don't
the
want
questions,
to
though.
bust
That,
anybody's balls.
by
It's so-
doing an interview, you kind of take away a little bit of the responsibility of like that complete answer. So why don't they do interview?
we're so lucky.
We're getting
that-
political again, man. Let's say goodnight and call
I
it
think
a
it's
show.
okay.
but it's fine. You
I
gotta
think
get
it's
a little
okay.
political sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
All I can say is that with the candidates we have, for real, we can't go wrong, and it's going to be a lot better.
Okay.
And I know it
Okay.
sounds political, but I really believe that. I swear.
Brett 2020.
And with that,
Okay, that's the show. Catch us on iTunes. Subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, RSS feeds, ratradio.net, Facebook, Rat Radio. That's it. Everybody say goodbye on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Manny for mayor.